satisfaction of knowing that you know, 40 kids in this neighborhood are now much more likely to be able to attend college, having gone through the program that they funded than otherwise, it'll make a difference to them. And if you're lucky, the funder will actually feature you and brag about you on their website. And you can't ask for better publicity than that. We'll talk about PR as we will later on. Somebody else, talking about your successes and singing your praises is definitely the best kind of PR. Okay, so we spoke about creating an outline. What should the outline look like? So very often you don't have a choice. More and more these days, there are these online submission forms. Give me your mission statement, 500 words. Give me the specific program that you want the money for, 2,000 words. If you're one letter over, just forget it. It isn't going to fly. I've been there and done it. It's extremely frustrating. But as I said before, it is what it is. If you don't already know, then look into it. But Microsoft Word and pretty much all the word processing programs have a little tool in tools called word count. It's amazing, and in fact, it's one of those you can't live without it kind of things. When you're doing an online submission thing. So as I say, in my second point over here, always use an offline word processing tool like Word or whatever your favorite tool is to write this stuff up. This is not an IT class, but I'll say it anyway. Save frequently. Use the word count tool in Word if you want to just count the words in a specific section rather than the whole document. You highlight that section by dragging over it. Tools, word count, there it all is for you. And then, we should hopefully all know how to cut and paste. Do not make the mistake ever of trying to actually type into the online web form, because if your browser crashes, you'll be extremely angry and frustrated. And there'll be nothing you can do about it. There's no backups when you're typing into a browser, but when you're typing into a word processing program, it'll back up things for you automatically, and of course you'll be hopefully frequently saving your information yourself. Now, in terms of, okay, fine, they're allowing me to use my imagination and create my proposal in however I think is best. So as I said before, your best bet is to create a template that you're going to be using all the time. I always start up with something like, Nonprofit Help Desk is pleased to respond to your grant proposal request for, and I'm specific, because many times, especially the larger organizations, will have several different things that you could be applying for grants for at the same time. So say exactly what. Just like when you're applying for a job, you don't just say, hey, I'm applying for that job. What job? If it's a large company, they could have had many requisitions for jobs out there. Same thing is true when you're applying for a grant request. The next thing in your template generally should be a brief history of your organization. We were founded back in 1987 by Mrs. So-and-so, who was really bothered by the prevalence of drug dealers in the neighborhood, and the rest is history, but you have to say what the rest is too. That can't be. The whole grant request, unless there's a specific instruction to make it any longer than that, should really probably not be more than 3 or 4 pages, because the people reading these are going to have to go through a whole bunch of them. Obviously, if they say this section is 500 words, that section is 200 words, then, as I said, if it's rigid, it is what it is. But if they're leaving it up to you, try to make your point, in a fairly brief and cogent way. And the organization is very important, not just so that can be easily absorbed by who's ever reading it, but because a lot of the times what they do is just skim them and reject, accept, possibility, garbage. They put them at the piles and they go to the better ones later. Something that's just one long paragraph, instant death. Something that's not formatted correctly, instant death. Organize it well, and part of creating an outline is that you ought to put headers in. Headings are very important. Again, I'm sorry for many of you it's belaboring the obvious. I'm sure it is, but I've seen enough proposals, across my desk that I know that for some people it's absolutely it's necessary to point it out. headings, sections, organization, subheadings if necessary. Not more than one level of subheading, because then it starts getting too complicated. But somebody should be able to just glance at it, do the skim, and grasp what you're trying to say, and hopefully put it in the for further consideration pile. Yeah.
On average, what would you say should be the length of, I guess, the mission history and background?
You should. I usually go. The opening paragraph is neither mission or history. It's usually, "Hi, I'm applying to this grant request." Then you start. Our organization is, and that's basically mission. Now, we'll have an exercise that talks about mission statement. You say what it is, but then right up front, where you still hopefully got their attention, in that mission statement, there needs to be a spin. That synergy that we've hopefully found before between what they want to give money for and what you're asking them for money for. That's got to be right up front and integrated into your mission. Which sometimes, that's where some creative thought is sometimes required.